I wanted to do a quick video to talk about and answer a question that was asked to me in one of the previous videos. How am I compensating my employees in terms of salary plus equity? So I hired my team mainly abroad because that is a lot more affordable than trying to hire people here. And at the same time, what I'm paying them will be at least fair market value for their location. But in terms of the breakdown, I decided to offer 1% equity plus salary. The reason why I decided to do that is because everybody that I've spoken to, they had an anticipation of getting paid. If you want more equity into a company, you should be willing to work full-time for free without getting paid, or at least part-time without getting paid. If you have an expectation of getting paid, that means that you're valuing the salary over the equity, in which case you will likely get less equity. If you look at an article by TechCrunch and actually just do your own research, the early team usually make anywhere between 0.05 to 1%. Look across the board, just do a bit of research, and you will understand that when an early employee has 1% in a company, that is huge. When that company is worth, I don't know, billions of dollars, that equity is going to be worth hundreds of millions, right? Equity is a representative of the risk that you're taking. So that reflected in my offer. What I noticed was that my new team was unwilling to take on the risk of having an unknown probability of getting paid. They wanted security, and they wanted to know that they will be getting paid from day one. And it's unrealistic to expect that other people would be okay with not getting paid for a long period of time because people have bills. However, that risk needs to be reflected in your offer, right? So in my situation and in my case, I've been working for my startup for 8 months unpaid, right? And if somebody wants to come on board, it's unrealistic for me to offer them 5 to 10% to come while they're still having a guarantee of a salary, and I'm not. That just doesn't make sense. It's the same thing when your investors are investing in you. They pay for the risk that they take. So the early investors, your friends and family round or seed investors, those guys tend to take up more equity than your later, or pay less for the equity than your later investors that come in your Series A, Series D, Series E, because these guys are taking on way more risk, right? And that risk is reflected in the fact that they will get sufficient equity that would pay off for them if the company, even when the company is successful, right? When those guys are coming in a little bit later on, Series A, Series D, there's a lot of security that they already know that the business model has been proven. There's probably product market fit. So the company is not necessarily super struggling. So the risk is less, and the reward obviously is going to be relatively less to the people that took a risk earlier on, like the angel investors. Same thing with employees, right? If I had somebody, senior principal engineer or senior software engineer come to me, or designer, whatever, and said, hey, I'm willing to join your team part-time, I don't need any guarantee of getting paid in the future, I will be happy to give them easily 5%. I won't even flinch. I'll be like, yeah, come, 5%, here you go. If they come to me and say, oh, I'm even willing to be full-time, leave my security, and no anticipation of getting paid, but just pay me in equity, we do this full-time, let's make it happen, happy to give them anywhere between 10 to 15 to 20% depending on their experience and the value they bring to the team, no problem. But if they come to me and say, okay, I want you to pay me and also give me equity so that I feel secure, then that means I worry about paying them salary but less equity. I would say customers and equity are the most valuable assets in your company. Equity will always be used to raise more money as a scaling funnel or sustainable funnel. So when you're running out of money, you need the equity to go raise so that you can keep running your company and growing the company. So don't play around with it. It's not something that you should just be throwing out the door, because it is going to be very helpful in sustaining your business and keeping you alive. I hope that this question has somehow answered some of your questions. If you have any more questions, please put them in the comment section below, and I will answer them hopefully in the next video, or maybe in the comments. So yeah, thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.